Well, welcome. Good morning, ETH Denver. I'm glad everyone is here. Today, I'm super excited to announce a talk on the future of fan engagement in Web3 and how we can leverage new technologies to enhance a fan experience. I'm Rebekah Keida. I'm the founder of Vysical. I'll qualify myself. I've been in the space since 2015. I had the pleasure of working with some of the early Ethereum co-founders when Ethereum was like $5. Should have bought more then, as I always say. And then in early 2018, it really made sense to me. After the CryptoKitties experiment, I did a prototype NFT project with Richemont Group with a watch they were launching that was fully customizable. It did not ship. It was too early. But that experience taught me something really, it really got me invigorated in the space of how we can use these technologies to incorporate into new products for brands or new experiences for consumers. So I'd love my panelists to introduce themselves. So DJ, if you want to go first, and we'll go to Mark and Kai.
Hi everyone, my name is DJ, and I'm your typical OG gamer. Been gaming since 2007. If you want to talk about RuneScape, I'm your guy. Consider myself a professional RuneScape player. I got into crypto 2016 and really got intrigued with NFTs and gaming, the metaverse concept in 2018. With Axie Infinity and CryptoKitties. I got into Axie Infinity pre-AXS, did very well, did a lot of work for Sky Mavis, and during the hype of 2021, actually had one of the hottest guilds called the Metagoons. And we developed a lot of close relationships. We announced a partnership with Manny Pacquiao and Tyson Fury, and that actually put us on the map. And then we kind of shifted from that guild model to more of a media and lifestyle brand, which allowed us to become close with a lot of gaming organizations, FaZe Clan being one of them. And yeah, now I do a lot of consulting for Web3 games in the space, and I facilitate a lot of the behind the scenes. And I'm thrilled and excited to be here, and yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thanks, DJ. I'm Mark Shekleton. I'm the founder of Smart Seal. What we do is put encrypted NFC tags into physical products, linking them to NFTs. We do this for fan engagement, for proof of ownership, proof of possession, and proof of authenticity. We have a turnkey solution for brands, and we just give brands the ability to protect their brand from counterfeiting and to be able to create these one-to-one exclusive experiences for the collectors of their products.
How you doing? I'm Kai Henry. I started my career in entertainment a long time ago, early 2000s. I was in the music business. I was a manager at a company called The Firm. I co-managed Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and David Banner and a couple like rappers from, legacy rappers, I'd say. And that, I left the music business 2008, started a YouTube platform called Ski TV with DJ Ski. It was just a lifestyle, content platform. And then I got into consumer electronics and lifestyle products, and then I got in a little bit into fashion. And then about 5 years ago, I co-founded a 3-on-3 basketball league called the Big Three with Ice Cube, and I wanted to do digital trading cards. So, I went and sat down with, I met the CryptoKitties people, and I kind of just got bit by the bug right away, just getting top blockchain in that way, and started looking at some early game publishers that were using blockchain technology and trying to figure out how to bring artists into that space and apply art to like these different skins for games. So that was about 2017, 2018. And then the last 3 years, I left the Big Three, and then the last 3 years I've been Chief Strategy Officer at FaZe Clan, which is one of the biggest lifestyle gaming companies in the world. I've recently left there and started a company called Fewture Studios, which is really just a company for me to collaborate with content creators, gamers, and streamers and bring their ideas to life and systemize, their thoughts and expanding their brands. And then also bringing Web3 and helping them understand how that's going to enhance their businesses in the future.
Love that. I love the bit by the bug, right? I feel like that's all of us at different stages in our careers got bit by the bug, and we're like, this is just has to happen. So because we're short on time, just going to go right into the question. So first question for DJ and Kai, how can Web3 technologies like blockchain, NFTs, and decentralized applications be leveraged to enhance fan engagement in the entertainment industry?
All right, I'm gonna take it this first.
Speak into the mic if you can. I think.
Okay,
there you
yeah,
go.
better. I think honestly the best answer for this is contributing and rewarding early community members, right? I think that blockchain, and we're seeing projects be notorious for rewarding their early user base. Like, for example, Sky Mavis did it with Axie. We saw it with Blur. We're seeing it with a lot of the layer 2 solutions now. And I think rewarding early community members is the best foot forward for a project. And I think it's something that it gets overlooked at times. But as far as like the users, I think they really value that the team puts them first. And I think it's key. And I think if we don't see that happen, the project or whatever it is going to fail for sure.
Yeah, so I think in general, in a wider sense for entertainment, I think there's two sides of entertainment right now. There's more traditional entertainment, which is, record labels, movie studios, actors and actresses, athletes, more of a traditional understanding of entertainment, through that lens. And I think that, from a storytelling perspective, that the traditional side has just been really good at telling stories in general, but there's an opportunity for them to like really have legs to every opportunity as far as like taking your audience and turning them into a community, you know what I mean? And just like kind of transitioning that in your own thought from the entertainment side. So I think storytelling is really important, and being able to give your new community, taking that audience that's usually on the traditional side, they're usually like across the street waving at the actor, like, oh my God, they're on a red carpet and they never get to see or touch or smell that person in any way, shape, or form. And then there's the other side, which is more, internet youth culture, side of entertainment, where, from the UGC era, you've got a community that every day can communicate with whoever they're following and that they're interested in. And so they're that much closer to them. So I'd say in a traditional way, making sure that if you're a movie or if you're putting out a record, you should have some type of super fan experience for whatever that record is. And you look at the brand, that record being a brand, and then whoever's the face of that record is the star. And there's so many opportunities, to surround that with, ways to get your community engaged. Right now, if you go, you can spend $1,000 for, going to see Beyonce and get a photo after the concert, and you're recognized as a super fan, but you don't get to do anything after that. You have the picture, but there's nothing more you can do with that other than maybe word of mouth, tell all your friends that, you were there. So I think the technology now just gives you the ability to expand that, that access and that opportunity and that experience.
I love that you said this. So like my controversial opinion is that the celebrity as we know it is dead. And the new celebrity is one that's completely accessible. There's that two-way dialogue. You feel like you're there, but there's kind of like a little layer of protection. But essentially, it's such a close connection. And Mark and I talk about this often because we're working on a bit of a project, if you will, for creators, right, or musicians. So the next question I have is for Mark. And hold on, let me just get it up. So for Mark, how do you see Web3 technologies transforming the relationship between fans, artists, and teams in the long term?
So I like to sort of classify NFC now into Web3 technology if it's like linked correctly. So one of the important things for fan engagement is that you want to make a really great user experience. When you're dealing with Web3, sometimes it's not so great. You have to deal with wallets and keys, and really the key to this is really abstracting that away. And I think that's one of the great things that technologies like NFC can do, because a cryptographically linked NFC tag can act like a proxy to the NFT, and you can use it for really interesting real-world engagement. And it can really become a channel for the celebrity or the artist to communicate directly with a specific group of avid collectors. You can think of it almost like a database of their fans. And then also Web3 technology, because it's so interoperable, gives these fans the ability to start their own groups. You can build a group around, you can build your own Discord server around a fan group. So it opens up fan groups to do this sort of organic growth and organic interaction. And then there's like just the awesome exclusivity component, where you're saying, hey, if you're a token holder, or if you're an NFT holder, an NFC holder, we're going to give you this really great experience. And really, that's something that's never been done before this.
I agree. So one of the things that we also talk about is like communicating to fans through products, right? So instead of having this kind of one-way relationship where, as Kai was touching on, right, like maybe you buy a product or service, you get that photo with Beyonce and like you're done. Like that's it. It's like, how do we actually enhance the longevity of those purchases and like craft them into longevity through experiences? So the next question is for Kai. How can we encourage more mainstream adoption of Web3 technology amongst fans, artists, and teams? And what role does education and awareness play in the process?
Yeah, I think education's important, but I think the more and more I've been in this space, I'm starting to understand that like UI and jargon are probably more important. I think for the general public, myself included, like I just want to show up and press one button. You know what I mean? Like I just want to be able to pull out my phone and I'm there. And I think that, all these companies, all these businesses, every city we go to, and engage in, helping each other out, educating each other on how to connect with, everyone's kind of like head down in their own silo, building what they're building. And I think it's just, platforms need to pop up that make the experience more cohesive than anything. I actually think some forms of education make people, give people anxiety. It's almost like, okay, cool, I'm in the beginner's class of this thing, and I'm still kind of not getting it, and then I'm out. Like I don't care anymore. So I think that UI is very important. I think that the cultural leaders embracing the technology is important and creating experiences where they know how to program and communicate with their audiences and their community, and implementing that technology in something that they know their audience is going to be interested in. I think that's really key, right?
Well, one thing, DJ, I know you want to.
Yeah, I have a question for Kai. So I agree. I think UI is one of the biggest issues. Who do you think has the best UI as far as platform currently right now?
I plead the fifth.
Well, one thing, I mean, we were all talking about this earlier, right, is that, Kai was taking around some of the folks from LVMH who are like tasked with figuring out this space because, the patriarch of the LVMH empire said on stage at Vivitech last year, metaverse and NFTs are the future of my business and of all businesses in the space. And I think that what's really exciting about that is when you go to Europe, they're all like manically trying to figure it out, right? Because like they've heard from kind of the top of the top that this is their future. And so one thing that I think is important to kind of touch upon, and the next question, do you want to add anything? No. Well, I'm going to give you a question, is around the metrics, right? Because I think that that's such an interesting thing from a marketing and advertising perspective. I was like, how do we even quantify these new fan engagement technologies into metrics, right? Which is what everyone really cares about from a business level, is like, tell me the metrics. So Mark, if you want to talk a little bit about some of the metrics in this space.
And so this actually does tie into the UI thing that we were just saying. The user experience for a Web3 connected product or an NFT launch, the success of that really depends on how usable you can make this to the general public. So if you're going to do a launch with a major brand and you're just doing like connect your MetaMask here and get this NFT, you're going to fall flat. There's only so many people in the world that are really into NFTs. So if you really want to be successful, you have to create a user experience where the blockchain is either entirely abstracted or you have the choice to abstract it. And so we've built, on our platform, an engagement engine. And part of that engagement engine is metrics collection. So we're looking at like how successful this launch is. How many people are actually redeeming an NFT? How many people are registering their product? And then we're comparing those numbers against like what traditional Web 2 kind of registrations look like. And we've seen some really interesting things happen. The easier you make it for someone to redeem the NFT and abstract away sort of the wallet process, the higher the probability that that everyone's going to do it. And then on top of that, it's just really fascinating when you start to add an interactive component to it. Now, we can see the metrics skyrocket. So a typical product registration with like a QR code for a warranty, it's like in the single digits. It's super, super low. Brands really struggle with this. You add to that registration an interactive component, and now you're like 50, 60, 70% registration.
That's insane.
That's a massive change, and brands love that because now they're getting all that post-sale consumer data that they've just been hungry for.
Well, one thing I gotta mention because I think that again, like unique scans we were talking about, or token gating content through a physical product, actually increasing the value of a hype product based on the utility, right? Like actually earning, almost like leveling up that product by your use. Like thinking about like grinding through dungeons, right, in different games. Like almost adding that quest-like element to your physical products is so interesting to me. But to your point, right, no one does the product redemptions or the registrations rather, which I think is fascinating. So my last question is for DJ. So in this kind of new world of connected products and fan engagement, how do we ensure that it's accessible to everyone and that we're also keeping in mind privacy concerns or other kind of issues around data?
That's a loaded question. I think I can start with the first part of it. I think Freeman's, I think scaling, I think layer twos, I think tutorials. And when I say tutorials, I mean creating something that's similar. How many people have seen Dora the Explorer? Right? You know how when when you're going on an adventure with Dora, she breaks down the process with the map. We're going here, we're going here, we're going here. This is what we have to do, this is what we have to do. We have to break the process down to make it streamlined, similar to that. Because I think the issue is we're focusing too much on building products that stand out to us, people that are Web3 native, but we need to focus on products that appeal to the global mass, right? And someone that has no idea about a MetaMask, someone that doesn't have an idea about purchasing a ticket to go see Beyonce through a digital platform, they need to actually have that accessibility and understanding, and something as simple as a tutorial that can be broken down to a kindergartner is what's needed, in my opinion. And as far as the security element, I think it's a huge issue that gets overlooked. I think in 2022, Ronin, the Ronin Bridge, which is built by Sky Mavis, which created the game Axie Infinity, they were hacked for, don't quote me, but I believe $625 million. Binance was hacked for $500-something million. These hacks are going to continue to happen. So I think we need to educate people as far as showing people how to look at the transaction hash, showing people how to sign the signatures, making sure that they revoke access for their wallets, and teaching them about cold storage, teaching them about keeping these assets offline. So I think that is what we need to focus on, and we just need to streamline and simplify it.
I agree. Preach. It's so true.
I went on a rant. I'm sorry, but
it's so true. I mean, I think all of us have heard horror stories about people losing even their hard keys or getting into a phishing scandal. So we've got a few seconds left. So I want, where can everyone find you guys?
Follow me on Twitter, please. My @ is the next gen guy, _next_gen guy, and I want to help. I want to connect with people, and just want to provide as much value as possible. Happy to be here, thrilled, and looking forward to chatting with each and every one of you.
Smartseal.io and @smart_seal on Twitter.
Kai Henry, Kai _Henry HENRY on IG and Twitter.
Thank you guys so much. I'm Rebekah
Thank you.
Keida from Vysical. You can find me at Beccatron on Twitter if you want to follow me. Thank you guys so much, and happy to answer any questions after.